Hello, in this video we will discuss how to add inorganic fertilizers to your SnapPlus version 3 nutrient management plan. We're here on the nutrients page in SnapPlus version 3 and I've selected the fertilizers tab. When we look at the fertilizer table in SnapPlus version 3, we can see it has been simplified compared to SnapPlus version 2. At the very top we have buttons to add a standard fertilizer and a custom fertilizer. Let's start by adding a standard fertilizer. To add a standard fertilizer to your list, you can click this plus button and then select from a list of common formulations that are built into SnapPlus. By selecting an option, you'll see that you add that fertilizer to your list along with the nutrient content for that fertilizer. The other option you have to add a fertilizer source is to add a custom fertilizer. To do that, we can click the plus Add Custom Fertilizer button. This adds a blank row where you can fill information about your custom fertilizer. You can start by giving your custom fertilizer a name and then entering in the appropriate nutrient content. If you are entering a liquid fertilizer, you can select this checkbox next to the liquid button. Note that anytime you enter a liquid fertilizer, a density is required. We have options available on this page to indicate whether a fertilizer is slow release. If it is slow release, you can select the checkbox to save that information with the source. Any fertilizers added on your fertilizer page will be available in the drop-down menu when you add nutrient applications on the management page. On this particular plan, I also have one inactive fertilizer, and I can see that in the upper left-hand corner because there is the number 1 next to the button that says Display Inactive. If you'd like to look at inactive fertilizers, you can press this toggle button and it turns blue. In that case, we show the inactive fertilizer. We know that it's inactive because this checkbox is unchecked, and you can see the information here. Any fertilizer that you make inactive still remains in your plan if you've used it to apply and make any applications in previous years. But if you have many different fertilizers in your list, for example, for a plan with many years of history and you're not using them anymore, making fertilizers inactive is one way to make your list of fertilizers more manageable in the nutrient application planner when you're working. To make a fertilizer inactive, simply uncheck the active box. We can also choose to hide inactive fertilizers by turning off the Display Inactive toggle here so that we only see fertilizers that are active in the plan. All of the active fertilizers here will be listed in my drop-down menu when I go to make a nutrient application on the management page in the nutrient application planner. One thing you'll notice in this table is that we do not have the option listed for a nitrification inhibitor. That's because you have options to set up nitrification inhibitor in 2 other places, and you can add a nitrification inhibitor to any appropriate nitrogen-containing fertilizers in your list. I'll show one example in nutrient systems. If we navigate to nutrient systems, we can look at a corn side dress system that I've set up with UAN. In this case, I'd like to indicate that this UAN application that I have planned will be applied with a nitrification inhibitor. To do that, I can check the box under the nitrification inhibitor column, and I receive a message reminding me that I've selected this. Now, when I go to apply this nutrient system, these applications will automatically be marked with a nitrification inhibitor. Another option you have is to indicate the presence of the nitrification inhibitor on an individual application when you're making it on the management page. I will select 2022, when corn grain was planted on this field, and click on Nutrient Applications to review the planned applications. In this example, I can see I have a June UAN application. In order to indicate that this application was applied with a nitrification inhibitor, I can open the More drop-down and check Nitrification Inhibitor. I also have the option in this drop-down to set the fertilizer timing from the drop-down menu. Going back to the fertilizers page, if for any reason you have made an error and you wish to remove a fertilizer from your list that you are not using and have not used to make previous applications, you can do that by clicking on the delete button here with the little trash can. That will remove the item from your list, but before it does, it'll send you a message asking you if you're sure that you want to delete this source. Deleting a source is very different from making a source inactive. When you delete a source, this will cause all past and future applications that had used this source to be removed. So be very careful when you're deleting that you're not deleting something that you might need. If you aren't sure that you want to delete, you can click the cancel button to exit out of this option. Thanks for watching this video about how to add inorganic fertilizer sources to your SnapPlus version 3 plan.